So we had a tent out there, people had a waiting line in the tent. Yeah, it was just. So she's the one that she's the primary we're gonna work off of as far as gambling control, doing this from the boardroom. So we're not gonna change her name today, but in the future, we'll just change that. She can change it by herself, the boardroom. All right?
Perfect.
Elegant.
Oh, don't start.
And now it's not. And now it's through the laptop again. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not worried about the camera now at this point. I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so they don't want to worry about the sound, the video. We're just gonna do sound.
Would it be helpful if she's a little bit closer to the wall this way?
I don't. It's off mute.
Okay, I needed to read whatever it's doing.
It's through her speakers in the laptop. Yeah, I don't know. Now the videos, I don't know what's happening.
Lay down.
Joe, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the volume's just not up. Okay, one more test drive. You can hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so we're not gonna have camera on our end. We're just gonna do audio from our end, but we can see you. All right, so behave.
We have to behave elegantly, I understand.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Steve.
All right, it is now 9:09 a.m. on Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. We'll call to order this meeting with the Gambling Control Board. Chair, I'll stop now because probably a bunch of people in the Zoom who think this is about sports betting. It's not. So you can save yourself the trouble of witnessing these Zoom trouble, sign up. Obviously, we're here today, or at least I am in the board. So this is a hybrid meeting. The physical location of this meeting is at 45 Conference Drive. I guess in Maine, there's also a virtual attendance option via Zoom. Members of the public who attend the board meeting virtually will be able to provide public comment to the same extent as members of the public who attend in person. So if you're participating via Zoom, mute your devices. Looks like that's already done.
Lay down.
Hear me. The Gambling Control Unit, on behalf of the board, posted notices of the video conference on its website with instructions on how members of the public can access. In addition, the unit, on behalf of the board, sends agendas and advance of the meeting to those that have requested so by registering their requests. It's the board's sincere hope that all those interested in the subject matter of today's meeting have received notice of the meeting, how to participate, either in person or electronically. So at this time, I want to introduce the other board members and confirm we have a quorum. When I call your name, can they hear?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Please identify yourself by raising your hand. It shows on the video. Introduce yourself and where you're from. Start with you, Ms. Green.
Sarah Green, and I'm in South Portland.
Mr. Henslip.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Hanslip, Sanford.
Chief March.
Good morning, Noel March from Hamden, Maine. And Mr. Chair, may I say that your audio is somewhat unintelligible and broken up. Perhaps you could try speaking directly into the laptop if that's what you're all sharing, and get closer to that microphone. That might help. Thank you.
Every time you move that laptop, it goes into the freak zone.
It's back.
Okay.
Back up there.
Probably up on that. All right, try it now, Chief.
Go ahead. Why don't you test it, Steve Siller?
Okay, you're good.
Is Dr. Brown here?
I didn't see. I usually look to the participants.
I don't see it.
Okay.
No. I don't see.
So
No.
everybody-
Right. I figured it. I know which court it is.
So Mallory, is that you speaking? You know what court it is?
It's Cammy, actually. Mallory's
Cammy, I can hear you. Okay, Cammy, I can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. However, it is very difficult for us to hear Steve Silver. I don't know what the positions are in the room relative
Okay.
to the microphone, but wherever you're speaking from is whoever has the floor, and there at Augusta should be speaking from as well.
that's the thing I didn't.
Yeah.
Here's the microphone in the room.
There's two up there.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
Yeah, it's not now. It's saying this. Can you try talking again, Steve?
Yeah, 2 parts I want now.
You still sound very distant, Steve.
You're very loud. So, I don't know what's,
Are you using a different microphone?
I have no
So-
idea which microphone is being.
There's microphones in the ceiling we had installed, so
Yeah, it must be your position in the room then.
How can you verify that the
typically there should be a light in the middle. Is Mallory on the phone too? No?
Not now.
I could,
Yeah.
we
Call,
gotta get this figured out.
yeah, call Mallory back and ask her what the deal is with the speakers in the ceiling, see if she knows.
Are you all sharing a conference room together?
Yes,
If Steve were to sit directly as close as he can next to you, Milt, or next to Cammy, I bet that the audio would be more clear.
So, do you know about the mic? Is it microphones in the ceiling or is it speakers in the ceiling?
oh,
And how do we know if they're turned on? Are they supposed to have a light or something? Okay, because we're having a lot of problems. I don't even have the camera on and it's going back and forth between the laptop and the TV. And the only person they can hear is me and Steve is sitting underneath speakers. Okay. She said they should turn on green. They should be a color or red,
yeah.
but they're not even
They're
red.
not.
There's not even a color.
There's no color at all.
So everybody's gonna join by Zoom, it looks like, so they can hear each other. All right,
No, no, it's,
Yeah.
it's over here.
yeah, here's a tablet. Okay,
So they can hear Milt clearly and Cammy clearly.
Yeah,
that's for that.
yeah, don't, yeah. So she's got Mallory on the horn.
But Mallory doesn't know. She
Mallory
said if they're not,
doesn't
yeah,
know.
we don't know.
I'll
Okay.
be in the Zoom.
All right,
Okay,
okay,
yeah,
all right, bye.
we'll just do everything. Zoom.
She said the only issue we might have with everybody joining via Zoom is everybody having their volume on in here. Okay. Are you still hearing us?
Loud and clear out here on our end when you're speaking.
Don't- You should, they should be able to hear you.
Now we can see Steve.
Yeah, now we're just zooming from the conference room, so that defeated the whole purpose. So here we are. 2023 Gambling Control Board is off to a roaring start. I think you all, okay, so you three, me, I didn't say, obviously I'm Steve Silver, South Portland, in Augusta today. So we have 4 of 5 members. That's a quorum. I'm going to mute myself when I'm not talking to try to prevent the feedback. First order would be approval of minutes from December 20th, 2022. Any comments, edits, anything about the minutes?
Motion to approve, hand slip.
Second, March.
All right, we'll take a quick roll call vote. Ms. Green,
Coming. Aye.
Mr. Hanslett,
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. That's 4-0. We'll move on. Operations report from Vicki Gardner.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
The operations report for January's board meeting. In December of 2022, there were 11 shipments of machines and or associated equipment. Shipped to or from the licensed facility. On-site inspectors completed 705 observations, 31 checklists. There were 13 self-exclusions. There were 2 minor violations that will continue to be monitored from the activity log. And then there was 1 patron's complaint that was pulled forward to the dashboard of potential violations. So that was it for the operations. And then moving on to the calls for service. Oxford PD was contacted by email and phone, and they were unable to present their stats for the calls for service. They're having a problem with their product that they use for that purpose. Hollywood Casino had 22 calls for service by Bangor PD. 3 were in the parking garage or outside. 8 were in the hotel or lobby with 911 calls. 11 were from the casino. 6 wanted out, fraud, lost property, 2 intoxications, and trespass.
Thank you. Any questions for Vicki? All right, thank you. Financial report this month. Okay, Amanda, take it away.
Amanda Spencer, presenting the financial report for today. For the month of December 2022, we identified a decrease of 0.55% in total tax revenue for both facilities versus December 2021. For the entire 2022 calendar year, we identified an increase of 11.4% in total revenue collections versus the prior year. The total for this year was $68,231,365.09. The Oxford Casino reported a 7.75% total net win for the month of December from slots and a 26.16% total win from table games. This casino also reported a 92.25% payback percentage and $217.17 average gross win per slot machine. The Hollywood Casino reported an 8.14% total net win for the month of December from slots and a 20.95% total win from table games. This casino also reported a 91.86% payback percentage and a $185.15 average gross win per slot machine. In the area of advanced deposit wagering, we found an increase of 28.3% for total in-state and out-of-state tax revenue collected during the month of December. For the entire 2022 calendar year, we found an increase of 16.5% for total in-state and out-of-state tax revenue collected versus last year at the same time. Total for this year was $266,720
Thank you.
Any questions for Amanda? Okay. Milt, Executive Director report.
Yeah. I guess all I have for a report today is to apologize for the technology. It works great when it works. And we'll have some people come in here and straighten it out. Perhaps we need a full-time laptop, or I don't know what we need to straighten this out, but I've got the next 60 days to get that done. So we'll make sure and get that done for you. Other than that, as you all know, my world's been sports wagering for the previous 30 and the next 30 days. So I'll be a little bit tied up with that, but at least we got some additional staff, people to help us out. So we're looking forward to that. But besides that, we have a great agenda today, and I'm looking forward to getting a lot of this stuff we've been working on for a long time, getting it done and approved today. So that's my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Director Champion? Milt, any bills that you've seen come across introduced yet?
The only bill I've seen, we have one in, and it's for charitable gaming, is to increase the raffle level from, I think, 75 to 100,000 or something of that nature. But that's in relation to charitable gaming. So it's only really because prizes are getting more expensive now, so they have to raise that level. But that's the only bill we have so far.
We've got no licenses this month, so we'll move to unfinished business, which involves Chapter 5 and Appendix A. Milt or Katie, you moving this?
Ladies first.
You want to explain that?
Well, yeah. Basically, we got one comment from the last publication, request for written comments. And unfortunately, with that comment, we can't make things separate specifically for a property. So we decided to stay with the generic. It involved sensitive keys being removed from the primary building. So we're going to stick to our guns, I guess, with respect to that, and then use some common sense when it comes to errors in that fashion or in that way. Other than that, it was a huge 65-page, I think, basis statement. All the T's were crossed, I's were dotted. I believe Katie's happy with the outcome, and so we're ready for the board to approve these changes, which were massive. This is probably the biggest package change for rulemaking that we've done since 2004. So I think it was a good fit. It was started out by inspectors and the inspector supervisor during COVID time, using some time there to go through each one of the areas word by word, and then of course presenting it to the two facilities, getting their response. I think we had 4 publications, so this has been a huge undertaking, but I think the end result is positive for the state of Maine. So that would be my only comments.
And
Okay.
can you hear me? I don't have my microphone on. Let me go closer here.
I don't know if I can get you on camera, but we can get your audio.
So board members, if you are prepared to adopt these Chapter 5 and the mix in final form today, under the Administrative Procedure Act, you would have to vote to adopt them finally, and also adopt the basis statement that should be in your package.
The one question I had was about that comment that Oxford had, and it looked like it was accepted in part, rejected in part. Is that just being left out of this? What's the end result?
Yeah, so part of the acceptance and part of the denial was all the way back to the first publication, right? So that, whatever our rationale was for the previous 3 publications, I think that just came to fruition, for lack of a better term. in the fourth publication. So we really didn't change anything from third to fourth. So I think that was just addressing the partial acceptance and partial rejection.
Okay. You said
And
there
I
was
think
something,
I think if I'm thinking correctly, I think it really was wrapped around premises. The definition of the premises, all that stuff. So once we were able to resolve that, then we were able to finalize that particular portion.
okay. You had mentioned there was one comment. You couldn't do a stand. What are you referring to?
Okay, so there was one comment. Basically, Oxford has a little bit of different setup in regards to like HR offices and stuff. They're not directly connected. So there are cases where an employee may have to leave the primary building and go out to a separate building. And they were looking for some change in that way to allow them to leave the building. Now, the way the definition is in premises, it's specific to the building that is actually attached to the casino in the sensitive areas. So Oxford set up a little bit differently. Those people, instead of going like taking a walk out to HR or any of the outer buildings, they would have to turn their keys in and then sign them back out again. Which again, it's the layout of Hollywood versus the layout of Oxford. We can't say, you know, has to be within the premises, except for Oxford, who can use it to, you know, go to the HR building. We just didn't want to get into all those specifics. If that was the case, then, you know, that would roll over into our table game setup, table game fills, and our jackpot payouts, where we're allowing them to be individual towards how those payments or how those operations are done. So that's the rationale.
Well, it looks like the definition has changed. Premises definition has changed. This latest version. Yeah.
It has been changed, correct, but.
Yeah, but not in the fourth publication. It was probably changed in the second.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it was just followed through. Yep.
Board members, any questions for Katie or Milt?
Can we do that as one motion, both the basis statement and the rules, or do we need two different motions?
It can be one.
I guess I would make a motion that we accept the basis statement and the updated rule package.
Finally adopt.
To find,
Finally adopt
To adopt the rules and the basis statement.
finally adopt the rules and the basis statement. So moved.
Seconded hand slip.
okay, we'll take a roll call vote. Ms. Green,
Aye.
Mr. Hanslip,
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I am an aye as well. 4-0.
So is this where I do the happy dance?
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're done with that, although see how many rounds you have to go with sports betting. Okay, so we also have a self-exclusion update. Continuing on the board's, progress and sort of modernizing and revamping our self-exclusion program. So Milt, if you want to,
Yeah, Lori, are you on with us this morning?
I saw her on there.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm,
there she is.
Lori's on there. Okay, you can probably unmute her.
She's unmuted.
Good morning, Lori. All right, so a quick introductory to this is that we met with Lori via phone conference. We also met with Lori in person. When I say we, me, myself, Cammie, who oversees our self-exclusion list, and Mallory, who prior to used to oversee it as well. But we all got together and we talked about reinstatement. We talked about, how that would roll out. We talked about the initial self-exclusion. The biggest thing here is going virtually with this, because like in cases with reinstatement, there's a lot of consideration in there, and I'll really turn this over to Lori because I know she'll be able to get into a little bit deeper, but like when people want to do something, they want to do it now. They don't necessarily want to schedule it a week from now because that'll change their mindset maybe in some cases. So we looked at the reinstatement, we looked at virtually them requesting. We also looked at the way Massachusetts is doing the reinstatement, and we're going to call them sessions. We're not going to call them interviews. And Lori will probably get into that as well. So we're still working things out. Lori and CDC is waiting for the completion of their new contract. And so in anticipation of that, we're also holding up on the letters to the legacy list. And the other rationale around that is with the legacy list, it gives a list of like 6 or 8 sub offices that have the ability to maybe do the reinstatements. But through our meetings with Lori, she decided that maybe she would do them only first initially, just to see how many we actually have to do. And then if need be, then we could have maybe one location up north, one location down south for walk-ins. But other than that, we're also going to have the capability of offering it virtually. And that's where the hello sign comes into play from Massachusetts. You would have set up a Zoom interview and all that sort of thing. So there's the whole idea of, is this something that needs to be done, or is this something we want to offer to somebody 24/7, 9 to 5 and all that sort of thing. So hopefully I touched base on it. There's some minor costs here and there to some of this, but nothing to blow us out of the water or get really worked up about. So Lori, I guess I'll turn it over to you if you have any other additional comments, updates.
Sure. Let me just comment on a few things. So when it comes to the reinstatement sessions, we actually are ready to go, except for getting a finalized form from the unit, which shouldn't take very long. The unit actually sent out letters to the 4 people who are waiting for reinstatement about a week ago. I haven't heard back, but if I heard back from one of them today, I'd be able to do a reinstatement session with them as soon as I get the form. And all that is a matter, we have all the language for the form. It just needs to be put on unit letterhead and have a form number assigned to it. So reinstatement sessions are good to go. At the last meeting, you approved virtual self-exclusion services, which is a fantastic improvement here in Maine. As Milt said, I met with him and his staff, and we talked about the fact that at this point, what makes sense is to have that be available basically during normal working hours, Monday through Friday for now. And let's see how many people take advantage of it. We're obviously not in a place yet to think we need to provide it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Most people self-exclude right at the casino while they're there. So the people that we'd be reaching with the virtual self-exclusion are the people who get home and decide that self-exclusion would be something that they can do. And since there is a cost associated with the Dropbox Sign subscription, we said that at this point, it would make sense for me to have that subscription. And again, let's see how many people take advantage of it. As far as the legacy letter goes, Milt and I have worked on that. And I have, even though AdCare doesn't have our contract from the Maine CDC yet, we expect it literally any day. So I have been in touch with our Bangor site, which is where probably most of the legacy letters, where people probably live within a good, easy drive to Bangor. The Bangor site, which is Bangor Public Health, is willing to do those self-exclusions now, even without a subcontract. I also have our Portland site, the Portland Recovery Community Center, all set to go right now, even though they don't have a contract. But what the great thing would be on the legacy letter would be if we can get the virtual self-exclusion 100% ready to go. That would be a great thing to offer on that letter as well. I think that we're going to have a fairly low rate of people who are going to want to go somewhere to do that, but if they could just do it in their home virtually, I think we would get a better response to the legacy letter. So with that, all we'd be waiting for is the unit to do a fillable PDF form of the self-exclusion form, and for us to sign up for that Hello Sign, or it's now called Dropbox Sign software. So I think I hit on everything.
Okay, so is there anything you need from the board to move forward with this?
No, I think from my standpoint, was just to give you an update, because I know the board wanted to get those letters out to the legacy list, so we just had to trim things off a little bit, like Larry said, we want to kind of take it on right now, not so much the signing up as much as the reinstatement. We did send out the letters, the 4 folks that want to be taken off the list. They've been notified by writing, and so we're going to see if they reach out to Lori, and Lori will handle the sessions, and then there's the form that Lori will submit her sign on, and by the way, the AG's looked at this as well, so I appreciate their stamp of approval on this, because the reinstatement form had to be appropriate for us to do something like that. So I think we're all squared away. We just need to move forward, but I didn't want to have this fall on deaf ears or not give you guys an update, especially where there might be a small cost. The Hello Sign, like I say, it's not a big lift, so we should be good to go.
Yeah, and the Zoom during normal business hours seems fine.
Yeah.
Can we publicize that in some way?
Yeah, I think we'll do as much as we can on the website. We're getting very good with pointing everybody to the direction of the website. So I think we can even possibly have a totally separate window where if you look on our website now, it says casinos.
Excuse me, Milt, we're getting huge feedback and echoes from you.
Hold on, that might be my fault.
So we're just now under construction of redoing our website. So one of the windows off to the side, we can actually dedicate one entirely to self-exclusions. Obviously not this year with the legislature in session now, it's too late. But the next session, if I have the ability to it, I'm going to have to pull a few people in on putting together some appropriate language to where we can bring in a universal exclusion list. I don't know if that's legally possible, I'm sure it's going to require that. In fact, we've already talked about it a little bit. It's going to require some legislative change. So, but I think we ought to bring all this in under one umbrella rather than having 8 different lists. It just seems a little harder to, a little crazier, a little harder to work with. So something to look forward in the future.
Chair Silver, may I say one quick thing?
Yeah.
Just wanted to mention that AdCare and the Maine Council on Problem Gambling constantly promote self-exclusion on their social media platforms, as do the sites that do self-exclusion. So we'll be definitely this allowing the virtual self-exclusion is a huge step, and it's really something that I'm very appreciative of, because it is going to help some people who are suffering with a gambling disorder. So we will definitely be promoting it as well. We probably even will do some boosted posts to get that message out further.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to do a press release or something. This is a new offering.
That would make sense.
Especially where we're headed. The sports wagering launching, it'd be good to get this out in the public conscience, which then I guess is really for Milt, but Lori, I don't know if you're planning to participate or listen in on the sports wagering rules, but there's going to be self-exclusion, a whole other set under there, right? So our challenge is figuring out how that works with our list of physical premises. Obviously, mobile is different, so something coming down the pipe.
For sure.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Thank you. Lori, I just wanted to say thank you. I think the work that you've done is fantastic, and it's really kind of followed all our hopes of how this would work out, and just very appreciative.
You're very welcome, and it's been my pleasure.
So can you all hear me now? No? I'll repeat myself.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so moving right along, we have a couple items under new business. First is a consent agreement, MGCB 2022-65, which I assume.
That's my presentation. Do you want me to use your? Good morning. Good morning, everyone remote. This is Jennifer Willis. I am doing the presentation of this consent agreement. The complaint involved an individual who had placed themselves on the lifetime self-exclusion list in February of 2022. And let me just confirm everyone can hear me clearly remotely. Okay. The individual will be referred to as TH. The agreed to facts are during the relevant time period, Oxford Casino had a policy in place to ID all incoming patrons. On April 7th, 2022, TH went to Oxford Casino. TH was not ID'd and was allowed onto the gaming floor. TH was present on the gaming floor from 9:22:49 p.m. to 10:57 p.m. During that time, TH put $450 into a slot machine and received no winnings. Oxford self-reported the situation. This scenario involved two violations which are admitted by Oxford: the failure to refuse access to the premises and failure to refuse wagers from a person on a self-excluded list. Oxford has previous self-exclusion discipline, including 4 consent agreements during 2021 for similar violations of the self-exclusion rules. The agreement terms are admission of the facts and of these 2 violations and a civil penalty in the amount of $4,500 per violation. Oxford has already signed the consent agreement and it is now presented to the board for your approval.
All right, thank you. Any board members have any questions? Okay, hearing none. I had one. What happens with the $450 that was wagered and lost?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Milt, do you happen to know?
$450 that was wagered.
That's what.
Yeah, it was put into the slot machine on the gaming floor.
I don't know if that was held for forfeiture or not. I don't know, Vicky or Matt, maybe. I don't think anything was actually done. No.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we have a fine penalty that's going to be assessed, but seems odd that the state would benefit, right, from a self-excluded patron actually wagering that amount and losing it. So I'm not sure how we typically deal with that, but
The amounts was this a table game? This wasn't
Slot machine.
This was a slot machine. Okay. So typically, if somebody had a jackpot over 1,200, machine would lock up. In that process, they would identify the person as self-excluded, and that person, that money would be taken. It would be forfeited by statute. As far as the $450, that may have been what they programmed as a loss in the slot machine, so the person didn't physically have it in hand, I would imagine. So they just went, when they went and looked at the slot machine, they saw that the person actually lost $450, but it doesn't necessarily mean they cashed out and had $450 on it.
right. My concern's not about that. It's that they could be wagering thousands of dollars and losing thousands.
Absolutely.
The state's profiting off of that. So that we need to figure out in situations, right?
Normally it's triggered by a win.
Normally it's triggered by a win.
We know because of a win, or
So we know because of a win, or they go to cash out, whatever. Someone's there, they lose money, right? The state's profiting off of self-excluded patron being allowed to gamble.
Well, theoretically, the person could have sat there and lost 10,000 first. Sat there, jackpot for 1,500, and that would have been forfeited, but they wouldn't have known. That that person previously lost $10,000. Person previously lost or $10 or whatever that number. Or $10.
Sure.
Whatever that number. Exactly right.
Okay. And does anything get paid to this individual?
Get paid back to the end of it? No. Get paid back to the end of it? No, because if it was established as any winnings, it would have been any winnings. So,
Sure.
so unless we want to get specific in a rule that any person has any losses, you can certainly, but right now, the way it sits right now is that any winnings, anything that they would show as in hand would be a forfeiture. Rules are made to be changed.
Any questions or comments from the board?
A little difficult to follow your exchange, Mr. Chair. The mute has to be off on the other person who's speaking. Yeah, just like that. But could you recap, please, Milt?
I don't know what you just said, Chief Martin.
Okay, so typically any profits or anything like over the 1,200 threshold where a slot machine would lock up, that is typically where you would find somebody who's on the self-exclusion list. When that's done, that money that they win is actually forfeited by statute. And so what I think the chair is suggesting that we actually, if we have those cases, that we need to go back and look at how much did the state make off of this person prior to getting caught? And should that person in fact get a credit for the amount lost? But that's subject to any type of rule change.
Or not to the individual, but especially on a slot machine, right? You know what the amount is.
Right.
You know the exact of the pet.
So
how do we treat that?
So now
Enough.
Chair Silver should, Steve, if you could please unmute and restate what you just said. We could not hear you.
How are they hearing you?
That microphone.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking what we want to do. Doesn't have to be decided today, but we can identify a loss by the gambler, meaning the state got that, the casino got that money, the state gets a chunk of it. What do we do with that? It may be that we do nothing, but I also don't think you want to give a play for free type of card to people to try to self-excluded patrons to get around, go wager and know it's sort of risk-free if they, get caught. So we don't want to incentivize that. Go ahead, Chief March.
Well, we've, for the record, we've documented the question and the concern, and perhaps Director Champion could, and after he comes up for air, after sports wagering, could examine options that we might want to consider for rulemaking.
So what's in front of us now would be to approve this consent agreement.
Anyone want to make that motion?
Anyone want to make that motion?
This is Green. I move that we approve the consent agreement.
Second, March.
All right, we'll take a quick roll call vote. Ms. Green,
Aye.
Chief March,
Aye.
Mr. Hanslett,
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. So we'll get that signed later. Moving on, we have one internal control change from Oxford. Let me pull that up.
Let it rip.
I'm gonna mute myself.
All right. Like record champion, I think I get that. Make sure everybody can hear. So I'll do a quick overview. Basically, Oxford Casino would like to propose an organizational change in our cage and count area to allow for alignment under one director. Currently, we have a senior director of finance with a cage director reporting directly to him and a count room manager reporting directly to him. This would allow us to have a secondary subject matter expert that would create additional oversight and training to create a senior director of finance, a director of cage and count with independent managers for cage and count. This is done in many different jurisdictions, including 5 that Churchill Downs owns properties in, and we would like to align that this year.
No, you looked at this request.
Yeah, we're okay.
Any issues? Is this adding someone or you just repositioning?
This is repositioning currently. We have a person as a page director, it's Isaiah, if you're familiar with, and it would align the count room under as well. It would create an additional key license for the cage manager, which is a position that was previously.
Any questions from the board? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve this internal control change.
Green, so moved.
I'll second it.
I'll second it. Let's take a quick roll call vote. Ms. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Hanslett,
Aye.
Chief March,
I'm going to abstain. I couldn't fully understand what was being proposed because of the audio.
all right, well, I'm an aye, so we'll get that signed and move forward. Last, I think we'll turn it over to Milt for the annual report that goes to the governor and the VLA committee.
Okay, yeah, so this is the annual report that's obviously publicized also on our website. It's the annual report due to the governor's office and the VLA committee on March 15th of each year. A lot of its repetition is just really updating numbers. It doesn't really change all that much from one year to the next, except for the financial information and the statistics. So with that, we are ready to publish or get published the annual report for distribution to the VLA committee and the governor on the 15th of March, which, if you recall last year, we got it done the day after the 15th of March. So that's why I wanted to get this out, because we do not have a February scheduled meeting. So I'll need to get this over to the committees and to the governor's office by the 15th.
So this is really nitpicky, but just it's a tiny correction you might want to make on page 13, Veterans Assistance. You're just missing a comma in the dollar amount just to keep it consistent. Sorry to be picky.
What was that page? What?
Page 13, Veterans Assistance. Just need a comma in their amount.
After the one. Okay.
I did go through it. I didn't really look at the numbers that closely, but I looked at the text. I didn't notice any other changes. So do you need us to vote to approve this?
To approve it, yeah. Yep. Even for distribution. Yes.
Pending that one typo correction, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, hand slip.
Second, March.
All right, let's take a vote. Ms. Green,
Aye.
Mr. Hanslip,
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. So get that out in a timely fashion to the governor.
Perfect.
Moving on to board business. I don't have any other than there is a hearing on January 31st for sports wagering for those that are interested. There's also the ability to submit written comment. It's all on the control unit's website, all that information. So I know it's of interest to many. Zoom in if you want or come attend. Any other board members have any issues? Okay, I'll open it up for public comment. Anyone in the room? Anyone on Zoom?
Nope.
Click the raise your hand button. Nope. Okay. So our next meeting is March 21st. And we'll get timely notice out as to where or what format that will be. Other than that, I think we can take a motion to adjourn.
And I can promise you, this technology is going to be squared away one way or the other.
Thank you.
I have
So
to rip
moved.
it out and start over.
Second.
Yeah, seconded by Sari. All right, quick roll call vote. Ms. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Hanslip.
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
All right, I'm an aye as well. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Oh.